Let's go first, please.
Best of luck, Robin. Here's your first question. What was the real first name of King Edward VII? Alfred, Alan or Albert?
I don't really know, but I'm trying to think. Edward VII was the eldest son. Alan doesn't seem... It's a bit of a guess, but I think I'd go for Albert.
Albert is the right answer. Well picked out there. One to you. And Daphne, who was president of Egypt at the time of the Suez crisis? Mubarak, Sadat or Nasser?
That would be General Nasser.
Yes, correct. Robin, at the Battle of Tsushima in 1905, a Japanese fleet under Admiral Togo inflicted a decisive defeat on which other navy? British, Russian or French?
Again, I've not really very much idea at that sort of period. I can't remember the British being involved in early the last century. I would a sort of semi-educated guess of Russian.
Russia? Yes, correct. Japanese defeated the Russians there, Battle of Tsushima. And second question for you, Daphne. In ancient Greece or Rome, what was an amphora? Storage vase, thrusting spear or ceremonial robe?
That was a vase, usually with two handles.
A vase? Mm-hmm. Yep, storage vase, wine, things like that, olive oil. Yep, yeah. Right answer. OK. Wynkyn de Worde was an early pioneer of which technology in England? Gunpowder, flying or printing?
I don't feel technology and gunpowder necessarily go together, and that was more developed by the Chinese, I believe. It's really between flying and printing for me. I'm going to go for printing. Printing.
Well done. Just what you did. Yes, Wynkyn de Worde. Word rather appropriate then, what he was into. And means you must get this, Daphne. Which powerful order of knights was decisively defeated at the Battle of Grunwald in 1410? Teutonic Knights, Knights Templar or Knights Hospitaller?
I do get them muddled up, but I think it's Teutonic Knights.
Yes, it is. That is correct, Daphne. So, Robin, we go to sudden death and remove those options. Just got to hear the answer from you. Elizabeth Blount was mistress to and bore a child by which English monarch?
I guess I'm going to guess at Edward VII.
OK, Edward VII. Not Edward VII. No, do you know, Daphne?
Henry VIII.
Yes.
Bessie Blount.
Henry VIII, Bessie Blount. Well, it's not over. Robin, in spite of the fact Daphne knew that, so we don't pass the questions over, so she has to answer her own correctly to win the round. This is it. In the Second World War, which country was home to the so-called Sallow Republic?
I haven't heard of it. Croatia. I don't know.
You don't? No, it's not Croatia. Other eggheads?
Italy.
Italy. What was it?
Oh.
Well, it was after the Italians made an armistice and Mussolini was overthrown. A lot of the fascists took off for the northern part of Italy, which was still largely under German control, and they set up this republic there.
Yes, northern fascist state controlled by Mussolini and his supporters, as explained by Kevin. So, on we go. You survive that, Robin. And another question for you. Between 1611 and 1613, the Kingdom of Denmark fought the Kalmar War against which other country?
Again, I'm afraid I've not heard of this. I can't really remember Denmark fighting many wars. So I'm going to take a guess that it was Sweden.
Good guess. It's the right answer. Yes, Sweden. Neighbours. Always a good guess for wars between neighbours. And Daphne, it means you've got to get this time. The so-called 7 warring states of which modern-day country were unified under one leader in the 3rd century BC?
I really don't know. Greece.
No, long way out. Not Greece. You were willing her on, Barry. You better know then.
China.
China, yes, of course. China, the first emperor and all that. Unification didn't last very long. So that means, what a turnaround after getting your first sudden death question wrong. Robin, you survived that and have taken Daphne out. So, Robin, you'll be playing for the money today. Would you both please come back and join your teams? Great start for the Green Slammers. Robin hanging in there against Daphne and in the end defeating her, meaning one egghead at least missing from the final round. Green Slammers all there. And our next head-to-head has come up as arts and books. Who'd like to play this? It can't be you, Robin, but any of your 4 colleagues.
It's me. It's me.
Sally, OK. Which egghead would you like to play? Just not Daphne, any of the chaps.
Barry? Barry. Should we go for, yes?
Barry.
Fairly randomly, we're going for Barry.
OK, just fancy giving Barry an outing there. You're kind of matching tops there without your stripes there, Sally. Maybe that's the reason you were drawn, yes. Let's have Sally and Barry into the question room, please. So, Sally, you were all geared up for this. You like to paint, don't you?
I like to do some watercolouring. I'm not very good, but I do enjoy it. It's very relaxing, and I enjoy it.
Doesn't matter how good you are if you enjoy it. And what about reading?
Oh, I read all the time.
Good.
I love to read.
Excellent, excellent. Well, let's see how you do.
Yes.
With this category, would you like to go first or second?
I'd like to go first, please.
Good luck, Sally. Here's your first question. What was the name of the home of William and Dorothy Wordsworth in Grasmere? Was it Dove Cottage, Eagle House or Crow Manor?
It's obviously a bird name. I'm pretty sure it's Dove Cottage.
Have you been there?
I have, yes, a long, long time ago, though.
There it is, yeah. Dove Cottage, well identified. One to you, Barry. A castle called Dunsinane appears in which play by Shakespeare, Macbeth, Henry V or Twelfth Night?
One of the prophecies that the witches in Macbeth gave was that Macbeth would not be killed until Birnam Wood approached Dunsinane Castle. So Dunsinane Castle is in Macbeth.
Yes, it is. One each. Sally, whose first novel, published in 1989, is entitled A Time to Kill? John Grisham, Anne Rice or Dan Brown?
Ah, that's a tricky one. A Time to Kill. I don't think it was Dan Brown. I probably came to prominence more with Angels and Demons. Anne Rice, I think, is more horror, I think. So I will go with John Grisham.
OK, John Grisham. Nods there from Ben. It's the right answer.
Oh.
Yes, John Grisham. Well done. Have you read it, Ben?
A long time ago, yes.
All right, got 2. Going well. Barry, in the Vermeer painting Girl with a Pearl Earring, the girl wears a yellow, veil-like scarf falling from the peak of a turban of what colour? Red, blue or white?
Vermeer is one of my favourite artists. I absolutely adore the tranquility and simplicity of his work. But in this painting, I believe the girl wears a blue turban.
Yes, she does. Both going very well. 2 each. Sally, John Sell Cotman was a member of the Norwich School and best known for which style of art? Watercolours, frescoes or oil paintings?
I'm not that confident. I don't think it was frescoes. It's between watercolours and oil paintings. I think he was a watercolourist, so I will go with watercolours, but I'm not absolutely sure.
OK, watercolours, like you. No. It's the right answer, yes.
Oh.
3 out of 3. Barry, we must love one another or die is the original line subsequently changed from the poem September the 1st, 1939, by which writer? W.H. Auden, T.S. Eliot or W.B. Yeats?
Ah, this is a tough one because they're all contemporary poets. I'm sure it wasn't Eliot. I have a feeling that I have read this once and I believe it was Auden.
Auden, it was. Well done you too. Again, we go to sudden death. Sally, the Angry Penguins was a literary and artistic movement of the 1940s that tried to shake up the art establishment of which country?
I have never heard of it, so it will be an absolute guess. Angry Penguins. I really don't know. Germany. I don't know why I'm saying that. Germany.
Germany, OK. Germany for the Angry Penguins. Well, if you don't know, it's a wide world out there, isn't it? It's not Germany. It would fit. I don't know how that would translate into German, but I'm sure it would be good. Do you know Barry?
Yes, it started off as a bit of a spoof, but then it began to be taken a bit more seriously. It was Australia.
Yeah, Australia. Not German, so a chance for Barry. Barry, which American-born British artist made the sculpture Rock Drill first exhibited in 1915?
Gosh, This one's a bit beyond me. I've never heard of this. But coming from the name, I'll hazard a guess at Jacob Epstein.
You should see Daphne. She may have lost her head-to-head, but she's with you there in yours, and you've won. Yes, it's the right answer. Jacob Epstein. It's the right answer there. Rock drill. And, well, another great round. Thought you were going to do it at one stage, Sally, but there's Barry on great form. Means you won't be in the final round, Sally. Would you both please come back and join your teams? Well, it's going to be no grand slam for either team here today. Very, very even. Both teams lost one brain from the final round at the moment. And we'll play our next head-to-head now. This one's music. Who'd like to play this? Is it going to be Chris, James or Ben?
Music with you, James.
James?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
This will be James.
OK, James, Daphne and Barry have played from the Eggheads, so you've got Chris, CJ or Kevin.
I think Chris is your better bet.
Chris.
Yes.
Chris.
Chris, please. Yeah.
OK, Chris for James. Let's have you both into the question room, please. OK, then, James, music it is. Have you got wide and varied tastes in this category?
I've got a decent knowledge, but we'll find out.
We will.
Yeah.
You took the words out of my mouth. Would you like to go first or second?
I'd like to go second, please.
OK, Chris, to start with the first question then. Chris, what is the term for the undulating voice-like sound produced by a jazz trumpeter covering the bell of his instrument, or by electric guitarists using a specific pedal? Is it doobie-doo, doo-wop or wah-wah?
Yeah, well, doobie-doo is Frank Sinatra, of course. Doo-wop was a style in the late 40s, early 50s, but the thing that the vibrator is a wah-wah pedal, so it's wah-wah.
Wah-wah, yep, correct. Well done. And James, sure you would have got that, but this is the set of questions you've chosen. Second set. James, what originated in 17th century France as a stately dance for two and became part of the standard format for the third movement of a classical symphony? Is it minuet, polka or foxtrot?
Well, this will be a guess because I'm really not too sure. However, I don't believe it's a foxtrot, so it's between minuet and polka. I'm going to hazard a guess at polka.
OK, polka. For this dance, it's not a polka. Do you know, Chris?
It's a minuet.
It's a minuet. OK. Well, second question for Chris. And the singers Joe Cocker and Jarvis Cocker were both born in which city? Liverpool, Birmingham or Sheffield?
They're both from Sheffield.
Singers Joe and Jarvis Cocker, both born in Sheffield, gives you a 2-0 lead. And alarm bells ringing for James. He needs to get this. James, who became famous as the lead guitarist and vocalist for the Manic Street Preachers? James Dean Bradfield, Tom Chaplin or Fife Dangerfield?
It is not Tom Chaplin. It is a young man from South Wales, James Dean Bradfield.
Yes, it is. So, still in it, but maybe not for long. Chris, which rare musical instrument resembles a cello but has a set of separate strings to pluck as well as those for bowing? Is it a baritone, a dulcian or a mandora?
Well, it's going to have to be a complete and utter guess, Dermot. Dulcian is probably related to the dulcimer. Mandora's probably sounds that could be Indian, could be Japanese, could be Chinese. But I think the thing like a cello with the extra set of strings is a baritone.
It's the right answer. Well worked out, Chris, and bad luck. It means you don't face another question, James. Put Chris in there first. You've slipped up on one. He's got all those three. It means no place for you in the final round. Would you both please come back and join your teams?